I'm a very firm believer in leading through example. I don't like it when I hear older Macedonian people tell kids, you should like this, you're Macedonian, or you should like that, it's Macedonian. Nobody ever likes to be talked to like that. Instead, what we should be saying is, let me show you why this is special. Let me show you why your Macedonian roots are worth keeping. You're much more effective at influencing people if you're able to show them why something is special to you. That is why I'm doing a new series of videos on Macedonian influencers. It is a celebration of people that go above and beyond to share their love of Macedonia. And I could not have asked for a more perfect person to start these videos with. She is the creator of one of the fastest growing Macedonian pages on Facebook called Macedonian Cooking and Culture. Please welcome Sue Eastwood. Bring it on. Sue, thank you for joining me.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Very nice to see you. Very nice to see you.
Nice to meet you finally.
Yeah, I think this is our very first time meeting.
Yeah, like kind of in person, sort of in person.
Yeah, we've chatted a little bit online, but this is like our first official like chat, like talk on talk.
Yeah. And I just before we went live was telling you about my air conditioning deciding to die today when it's 40 degrees Celsius outside, and that's why I'm out here. It's evening in here. I'm in the outskirts of Toronto in a suburb, and it's 7:35 p.m. And it's probably about, I think it's about 32 degrees still out here Celsius, which is really, really hot in Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's pretty hot over here too in LA. So
I didn't know you were in LA.
no, you didn't? Oh yeah, no,
No.
LA.
Have you always been there?
Yeah, born and raised. Yeah, I'm one of the first.
Wow.
I'm one of the first generation of Macedonians born in Los Angeles.
Wow. So is there a big community in LA of Macedonians?
I think officially there's like on paper there's several thousand of us, but in terms of like active people that I know, there's a handful of there's a couple of hundred that I know of that show up to the church like on a regular basis that I know of. So
It's a small Macedonian world.
it's a small Macedonian community. Yeah, over here it's a small world, but I like it. I
Yeah.
personally like it. But we're not here to talk
Yeah.
about me. We did this.
But hey, why not?
So, what about you? Where are you from? Where were you born at?
Okay, so I grew up in Australia, sort of, until I was 5 anyway. And then my family moved to Canada, Toronto. My parents are still in Toronto in the same house that I grew up in. But I was actually born in Bitola. So I'm a
Really?
Bitolchanka.
You're a
Yes.
Bitolchanka. After my own
Yeah.
heart, the Bitolchanins.
Ah,
my,
wow. Well,
my
this should be like the Bitola show.
it really is. My whole family is from Kukurechani.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. My dad is from Bukovo. My mom is from Dolnosarpsky, and they're both sort of connecting villages to Bitola. So my mom was on holiday, and she was quite pregnant with me, and I decided I'm coming out here, and I'm going to be born in Macedonia. So that's why I was born there. But we were actually living in Australia at the time.
Wow. So you kind of globe trotting a little bit.
I did as an infant, yeah. So I decided I wanted to be born in Macedonia, and I'm coming now, and I was born there in Bitola.
So you were
And
born.
then
Oh wow. So you were born in Bitola, and then when did you move to Canada?
in the 70s, so Australia as a little kid, and then the 70s in Toronto, and been here ever since.
Okay.
Been back to like Australia, like once, and obviously lots of times to Macedonia.
So have you always been involved in like cooking and stuff? What was like your major in college, or what was your career
Well,
aspirations?
so career aspirations, I guess I wanted to be a lawyer when I was a teenager. So, but I didn't go to law school. I went to business school instead. And then I ended up changing my majors to geography. So I have a degree in geography.
Oh, cool.
That was early on. I ended up not doing anything with geography. I've gone through a few different career paths. Cooking has always been a hobby and something I've pursued and I love doing.
Mhm.
And then I wanted to preserve the Macedonian food, the dishes my mom made. There was nothing written down anywhere, and she would just make it, and she kind of just knew it was passed down to her. It wasn't, there wasn't something I could buy, Macedonian cooking. So I started making notes and watching her and asking her questions, and I started practicing it. And then I started posting it online. It was probably about 10 years ago. And it's kind of evolved to this, to where now I want to put them online in a group about cooking so that other people can log on and learn about our food, especially important for people of Macedonian descent that don't have a resource. Maybe their parents have passed, or they don't have a recipe written out by their mom or their grandmother. They can log on
Mhm.
to Macedonian culture, and they can use the search caption bar, and they can type in whatever, like tafce gafce or polneti pipetki or zelnik, or whatever. They can put in there, and they'll get a ton of recipes from all the different members' versions, which is good. There's not just one version. It's just like anything in Macedonia. There isn't just one way to make anything.
Mhm.
Depending on the region that you're from, there's going to be a different spin on each dish. So that's really cool. So that's how the cooking thing kind of evolved. But that was never. I've never aspired to like open a restaurant or anything like that. I own a business now, but it's got nothing to do with cooking.
I was fortunate.
Yeah.
I'm a dental technician, so I went to it's basically a trade. So I got some classes done, but then I went to trade school basically for dental lab, and that was fine. But after that, I went back to
Yeah.
school and got my bachelor's in sociology, which it's a very pretty degree that I hang on the wall and it collects dust.
Well, this is it, right? I think it just shows employers that you have the capacity to learn and finish something and follow up through with it. And that's about it. In terms of making a successful life for yourself, no one can teach you that.
No,
You have to do
you're right.
that on your own.
You're right. You're right. I got a question for you because I did a little bit of research on you. Did you used to?
Uh-oh.
Did you? I mean, we call it QVC here in the States, but did you actually sell stuff on? Is that what it's called over there?
It's called the shopping channel here. It's the same
Okay.
as QVC's the American version. Here it's the shopping channel, or TLC. But yes, indeed, I did sell on national TV.
Did you?
So yeah, I
You work for the network, or you had a product that you were with the product that was selling?
so I work for L'Oreal, which is a big cosmetic.
And what is the Clarisonic? Clarisonic will give you soft, smooth, supple, dramatically younger looking skin. We're using a patented sonic technology to thoroughly cleanse your skin, to completely clean your pores. We're going to exfoliate the surface of your skin, get rid of those dead skin cells. We're going to get the dirt, oil, sebum out from in your pores. We're also going to stimulate the skin underneath the surface, to stimulate the blood flow. What you're going to get is the cleanest clean you've ever had, 6 times better than manual cleansing, better absorption.
And as the brand expert,
Uh-huh.
and so as the brand expert, I did all the L'Oreal shows on the
Mhm.
shopping channel. So there's always two of us, the TLC person and myself. And it's a live TV, so each segment is like 30 minutes long, but you would be in the studio and you would do like 4 30-minute segments throughout the day. So is a fun, invigorating, dynamic job.
That sounds like so
To
much
describe
fun.
it. It's nerve-wracking because it's live and you know that you're across the country, like national TV, and there's no script. You're
Yeah.
kind of just winging it. Um,
Did you get
and I I was the only way to really be good at it is to be prepared. Know your products, kind of have a wealth of information in your head on what you want to talk about, and then it'll just come out.
That's so cool. That's so good. What a fascinating job that is.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, it was fun. Fun
Okay.
times.
Okay, so I gotta. Well, all right, let's talk about the Facebook page. First, I want to thank you. I want to thank you personally for that Facebook page, because when I first started the Better Balkan, it was about, I don't know, 3 years ago, something like that. And I used to always just post on Baba's Secret Recipes, and then it was doing pretty good. But then when your page came along, I started posting on yours, and I started getting way more traction on your page than I did on Baba's Secret Recipes. So you very much helped me. Yeah.
Okay, well, I was on Baba's for, I don't know, several years. I used to post on that page, um, and then I started my own group. So, you know, I do think we have more traction. Like, if we attract more different demographic. I'm not sure, but we get a lot more posts on our page than that page. So that you might be seeing a difference because of that as well.
Hmm. I noticed you also work with, is it called Macedonian newspaper?
Oh, so yes, there's a lady called Sonia who is the editor of Macedonian newspaper here
Yeah,
in the Toronto area.
yeah, I know Sonia.
And right, so she's awesome. That's her
Yeah,
newspaper.
she appeared.
And she asked me if me to you know, if I could do monthly submissions and articles for her publication. So that was no problem.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, Sonia, Sonia appeared in my that top 10 songs in the '90s video, and really, really amazing, really cool. Like when I recorded with her, she basically sat and she had something to say about everything, and she said it straight. She didn't make a single mistake through. She's very good.
Yeah,
She's a very charismatic speaker.
she's a real pro
Yeah, she's really, really.
and talented, really talented.
See, I think what separates your page from the Baba Secret Recipes is, like, I think you're kind of leading the charge. I see stuff from you almost all the time. Like, look, I made this plate of pasta. I made this. I did this. And and
Yeah,
they're always photographed really, really well. That's one thing I've always been
thank you.
I've been bad about that. So, like, I'll make it. It's filmed. It's done. And I'm like, you got to take some pictures of this stuff. Light it well a little bit. I just, you know.
Yeah, I I gotta say, a good photography of what you make can make even something that's really ordinary look good.
It's
Yeah, I
really
think
true.
you know, just do the right angle. But yes, I do feel that I do post. I do think that our group members are kind of used to me posting, and used to me kind of sharing an article or a story or something I've written, and it's fresh new content all the time, and I think they appreciate that. They log in for that, and getting ideas for dinner tonight from everybody else.
Give me your take on this. There's I think there's a good and bad thing about Macedonian food, which is it's very accessible, you know. So Macedonian food is like your Baba's cooking. So it's about eating hearty, it's about eating good, and it's about using you're using what you got for the ingredients, and it's very welcoming, which would seem really, really nice and welcoming to do. However, you compare that to something like sushi, and sushi is this. And I don't know what the sushi lifestyle is like over in Canada. And like here in LA, they go nuts for it. We have sushi everywhere, and sushi is very sushi is very almost snobbish. It's very, you have to cut it. There's a very specific way to cut your sushi. There's a very elegant way to do it, and when you have to. I always like it too when they're like, you're eating it wrong. Like, I think I know how to eat. Like, you know, there's like, you're not supposed to dip it in this. It's all these weird rules to it. So I think there's this weird kind of, this is a thing that I've been debating with like Macedonian cooking. I'm like, maybe it's too accessible. Maybe we got to get a little bit more snobbish. Like, no, it's supposed to be like this, just to kind of create a more exclusivity with it. Because you know, this is what I think. It's like one of those things. You don't want to go. You don't always want to go to the club that everybody's allowed in. You want to go to the one that's a little bit harder to get in. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying, and I think the modern Macedonian cook is trying to deliver what our grandmothers did in a new presentation.
Yes.
Kind of what you're saying. You know, we're trying to present it like I posted a picture of graf, tafche, grafche. That normally, I mean, you know, it's think about it, it's like it's baked beans, you know, it's like wow, but I think I presented it in a nice bowl, and I some nice Macedonian sausages, kind of arranged them in a pleasing to the eye way, and then I got some sprigs of mint, and I decorated it with the mint. And that's just not to look pretty. There's actually mint in tafche grafche. It goes with the dish very well.
Right.
So it's very traditional flavors. But the dish looks spectacular. It looks great. So it's just taking a little bit of the aesthetic lessons that you know the modern Macedonians learned from other places around the world and fine dining, and marrying that with what our ancestors have taught us with the foods of it is very possible to make it look a little snobbish like that and look good. It looks great, you know.
I agree. I honestly think it could benefit from a little bit of snobbery. You know, it'll make it like it's too relaxed.
Members in our group, I think our members do a great job though.
Oh, they do.
You know, they're all like elevating, and the dishes, what would be a normal dish, they go to great lengths to make everything look fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
I really got to take my hat off to the members of our cooking group. Like they really take it up a notch in presentation. You know, and I see the progression with members, like people that maybe just posted ordinary looking things
Oh, yeah.
are now like really
They're
really
getting
like
good.
selling it, you
They're
know,
getting good,
looking
yeah.
fabulous, and it's amazing. It's great
I
to
agree.
see.
I agree, and it's great to see. I do really like that. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing these, this is going to be this first of like a series of videos on Macedonian influencers. You know, I'm a big fan of people that don't just say you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. I like doers. I like people that are actually doing something. Because I regard you as one of the big influencers right now, because you really, you know, kind of leading.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, absolutely, and it's 100% true. But what do you think is the best way to kind of inspire more young Macedonians to kind of, you know, get active and, you know, break the mold? You know, that's at least what I'm trying to do. I was like, all the stuff we've seen.
I love
great.
what you're doing too.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we're both doing the right thing. You're doing something right. I love the name, you know, the Better Balkan. I love that. I and it's engaging. There needs to be more content like that, more groups, like what I'm doing. I like that, and I get a lot of flack from people that are like, well, why aren't you doing it in Macedonian? Like, why is it in English?
Oh, yeah.
And the whole point of that is to make it accessible to people that are sort of a few generations away from Macedonia and want to reconnect with their roots. And there's no other way to do that. Like they're not going to go and you know, learn Macedonian in a different language. I mean a different alphabet, like the letters, the Cyrillic. You know, it's they're at school or they're busy working. They've got families. Like it's tough to kind of put yourself out there and do that to learn more about Macedonia. It's easier to just log into something that you understand already and learn slowly at your own pace. Because when I first started learning more about my Macedonian roots and learning about the culture, it was through the English language, and I've learned so much more about Macedonia through Facebook groups and through the internet. It's a wealth of information, and I learn my vocabulary is like 200% better in Macedonian than before the internet came along. So I love that, and I hope that my group can do that for other people too.
I think it's great. I thank you and I respect you endlessly for what you've done with that group. I believe it's like the fastest growing Macedonian cooking page. Like, I don't know.
Thank you. I know. We're at like 34,500 members.
That's awesome.
What's that?
I know you just hit 34,000 members, right?
Yeah, 34.3 thousand members
And
currently and
how long
growing.
has the group been in? Like, when did you start the group?
A year and a half ago.
In a year
So
and a half.
this October, this October will be our 2-year anniversary.
That's incredible leaps and bounds. It's a massive game. Yeah.
I'm very pleased that people like it. I'm very pleased that people are choosing to come to our group and spend time there. 'Cause there's other groups, there's other great groups.
Yeah.
But there's just something about the members in our group that I guess is welcoming and a safe place.
Yeah, and yeah, nothing against like the Baba's Secret Recipes group. I think they're wonderful too. It's a great group. But I think your group. One thing that I truly like is I want a person that has kind of lead the charge or something. Baba's Secret
I
Recipes.
get that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, they're a little bit more, just like here it is. You do your thing, which is fine too.
Yeah.
But I think right
Yeah.
now, yeah. But I think what we need now is more Macedonian leaders, and you need a
Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Kudos to Baba Secret Recipes, because they were a trailblazer.
Oh, yeah.
They were pioneers in putting a group of Macedonians together.
Do you have a favorite Macedonian food? I think people ask me that all the time, but I'm like, do you have one?
I do. And it would be Vielnik so Sirene, or Vielnik so Sirene and Spanyak. So the two
Is
things.
that like Zilnik or Mosnik or something?
Yeah, so this would be another regional way to call something. Zelnik, with spinach and cheese, or Zelnik, so Sirene. So we grew up calling it Vielnik, which is the same thing as Maznik.
Yeah.
It's identical. It just depends on where you are, what you're going to call it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Sue, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you just taking the time to come and hanging out with us.
Anytime. This was fun. Glad we got to chat.
Yeah, me too.